everyone there from the Legacy Research Group. My name's Andrew, if you haven't met me yet before, and my role today is to take you through expenses training here on Nexonia. So what you could log in, to actually log in, on the mobile application, we're available on iOS, which you're going to see me use today, so the iPhone or iPad. We're also available on Android, BlackBerry 10, and Windows 8 and above. The Nexonia Expenses application is a free download from the App Store. So just search for Nexonia Expenses. Should be a blue icon. That's the one that you're going to go ahead and download. And when it prompts you to log in, you're actually going to use your Legacy Research email address. And if we haven't reset your passwords already, we're certainly going to do so pretty shortly. So, and you can actually start creating content in a few different ways right from the home page here. Now, the first thing is creating an expense report. Reports are very important here at Nexonia, as they'll act like a container or a bucket for all the different expense items and the receipt images that you need to create. So if you need to create a report from the home page, there's the icon on the far right-hand side. So you just tap on Add Report here. All it'll simply do is just prompt you with filling in the title. Now there's a default title in place, but you can tap on that field, erase this information, and then type in a title for the report. Now this is today. I'll start with the camera icon. This allows me to line up a receipt and photograph it. Once I tap on Use Photo, this receipt's now going to be linked to my expense. Now, linked is very key here at Nexonia. What it means is that, once it is linked, that throughout the rest of this expense item's lifetime, this receipt's always going to be linked to this expense. I can actually skip right past them, and then you'll come down to the fields in which you will need to fill in information. Now, you don't have to worry about the company. There's only one value there, but you'll move into the publications here. So you just tap on the field, and then you can choose whichever publication way. So categories are going to be the same, where you're going to now define what type of expense this happens to be. So from the category below that, now that I've actually chosen meals, this category actually works a little bit different than others. There is a new field that's appeared on the screen called attendees, which is mandatory for me to fill in. Now that's where Amber would actually see her name listed right here, and of course everyone would see their own. But attendees is going to be mandatory on meals, as defined because the word attendees is shaded in red here. But in case Amber entertains someone else, she can go into attendees here, tap on add in the top right corner, and create someone brand new if I needed to as well. Just tap on this add icon in the top right hand corner, and then fill in some details about the person. And that really completes the expense itself. You could go ahead and tap save, and it creates that expense now within your report. Well, I'll actually bring in a receipt a different method this time. The first one I showed you, I photographed a receipt. But right beside it is our gallery icon. Tapping on this actually allows you to go into your photo album, if you have one, on your phone or on your tablet. And you can go ahead, retrieve a picture of a receipt that you've already taken a photo of, and link it up to your expense that way as well. Use these icons on the right-hand side here, outside of an expense item. So photograph the receipt. Tap on Use Photo, and to use the OCR, what you'll end up doing here is tap on this paper airplane looking icon. That sends it off for OCR. Now, hopefully, it shouldn't take a day, although it is kind of variable. I've seen it take seconds, but I've seen it take minutes, even upwards of an hour before. So it's not that you get it back right away. It could take a little bit of time, but I haven't yet seen it take a day. So you should have it back quicker than that. But all you do is just tap on the paper airplane, and you'll get the receipt data back. Of the gallery and the camera here is the envelope here. This is an additional way of adding receipts into your expense report. This is the email option that we do have available for you. So we only have one email address, and it's not that you have to write it down. It's available on the app or the web, which I'll show you later on, but it is receipts@nexonia.com. Now, Brian and I were emailing about this exact feature not too long ago today. The way it works is that when you email in a receipt, we do support either attachments or if the receipt itself is embedded in the body of the email. So, if you have an Uber receipt or you purchased online from, say, Amazon, those receipts tend to get embedded in the body. Both of those scenarios are fine by us, but when you forward the receipts to us without any special instruction whatsoever, we're actually going to place those receipts in the most recent report that you've created. Bottom left, we'll add another item. Now, it doesn't really matter the rest of the details that I put in here. Just take any of these receipts here. Amount, let's just say 25. Now it is below the amount that we'll have our currency indicator. So right now it's our base US dollars. But Amber, if you were traveling again to either the UK or out somewhere else in Europe, just toggle to the other currencies, to the correct currency that you need to indicate. And what happens is we're going to bring in an exchange rate for you automatically. Now this is a daily rate, so you also need to ensure that your transaction date's filled in properly. So maybe it's not last week, maybe it's more in line with today. And then what happens is the exchange rate auto updates. It's also going to update what you'd be reimbursed. So this is the base US dollar value now of this expense. We converted it automatically for you. Now, one more caveat to this, I would say. Let's say, Amber, you didn't link your personal credit card to your account, and this is something that's on your credit card. If this exchange rate doesn't match, it is editable. So just look at your credit card statement. You can go in and edit whatever this value really looks like. And then we auto adjust that US dollar values if we really wanted to, but you don't need to. You actually tap on the split option at the very bottom of the expense. And of course, tap on yes to proceed. We're just making sure you really want to do it first. Now, what happens with splitting at Nexonia is we only have two rules. One is that you at least have to split twice, but you can split as many times as you want. And the other is that you have to balance out. So between all of your splits, they all have to equal back to that overall value of $89.20 in this case here. So to begin, tap on Add Item. And then you're going to define your first split. So a way we can do it is with the amount, you can either type in a specific dollar amount, or you can even do a percentage split by tapping on the percentage sign itself. Oh, I tapped on Save. So if you want, I'm trying to tap on that percentage. You could tap on percentage if you had to, but I'll go ahead and I'll actually fill in a dollar amount here. I'll go 26.84. Tap on the pub and make this 26.84, whichever publication it needs to be. I'll just say office, and I'll tap save. From here, you're always going to have that overall value looming up at the very top, but then you'll start to see your split items populate down below, exactly how you've been filling them in. Now, I could still tap on this split again if I needed to, and I could go back in to edit it if necessary. Otherwise, I could continue to add in more items. And the only difference going forward is now you'll actually see the remaining value for the split.
That's easy. No math.
So you can tap on it. You can edit this if you had to. You could go down to $30. Different publication. And everything else could be the same. You could still also even change up the category if you had to. A lot of times I go with my go-to kind of example is you stay at the hotel and you charge room service to the room. Well, you can actually split out those two as well. And then, yeah, we'll just do the final publication here with the remaining value of $32.36, fill in our category, and we'll tap save. So it's been split 3 ways now. Tap save officially in the top right-hand corner, and you actually see the split on your expense report as well. You can also create content from the homepage. We created reports and we accessed them, but you can also create expenses, either from credit card transactions or reimbursables, and even photograph receipts, all from the homepage. And in all these cases, the only thing that you'll need to do is indicate which expense report the content would belong into. If we go into our report we've been working on, I can also see the submit option in the top right-hand corner. So tap on submit, and we'll send it off for approval. Web. Now, if you don't have a data connection, you can still do everything you saw me do, with the exception of officially submitting it to Brian there for approval. Everything can be done offline, but until that data connection is reestablished, we can't sync information back and forth. But once it is reestablished, then it's officially sent off to Brian for approval.